Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. My name is Abigail, and on this channel, I talk about books and things that I'm passionate about. And right now, that happens to be putting up 31 videos in 31 days. And for this video specifically, social media horror. In this video, you will see me read two social media horror novels, one that I liked a lot, one that I didn't like as much. In Feeders, the first one that I read, a girl downloads a social media app called Monolife, and she has a friend who is like an Instagram influencer, and she was basically convinced to start an Instagram, but she's not gaining as much fame and notoriety as her friend. And so when she discovers Monolife, she is determined to make a way for herself and have her own platform. But the way that you go viral on Monolife isn't a day in my life. It isn't an OOTD. It's not what I eat in a day. It's truly brutal and horrific things. And then we have Influencer. And Influencer is about a boy who's in his, well, almost a man who's in his senior year of high school, and he changes schools. And at his new school, he is recognized for who he is as the speaker, a social media personality. And the speaker is less of a social media influencer and more of an influencer who also has social media. Now that you know what these two books are about, I'm going to go ahead and send you back in time to when I was actually reading them.
Hey, so fun story. So I was literally minding my own fucking business. I put on the audiobook for influencers because I obviously 31 videos in 31 days is a little difficult, especially when you have the type of goals that I have for reading. And so some of them have to be audio. So I was finished filming a video. So what does one do? They start the next book. So here I am starting influencers, and the very first thing that I hear is a knock, and it scared the shit out of me. So I won't be reading that tonight. Instead, it is 10 o'clock at night. I have been working overtime to film these videos. Sorry, I'm using my camera's viewfinder as my mirror. Pardon me. I have been working late. I've been working overtime. Working late because I have a stupid idea to film 31 videos in 31 days. So I've been staying up late filming, staying up late editing, staying up late planning. And what has it gotten me? I don't know yet. But I bet you can guess what video I just filmed based on what I'm taking off my face. Anyways, I have decided that after exactly 3.5 seconds of the audiobook for influencers, I am done. No mas. Try again tomorrow. I love this. It tastes good too, but I mean, like the ghost on it, so cute. Hey, so I spilled my coffee on my shirt, and that feels very fitting for this video, being that it's social media and I was bragging about my adorable coffee. So just an update there. I am right around a third of the way through Feeders, and I am just, so this obviously there's some pretty blatant social commentary on social media and the things that people will do for social media. And there's also like social media affects your real life, and even if you don't realize it does, kind of things. And I think that this horror novel right here is actually truly horrific, as opposed to some of the other novels that I've been reading lately that have been tagged as horror. I think that like the lengths that you're willing to go to gain popularity on social media is it's obviously the extreme end in this novel, but this is like top-notch horror. Like I was eating and something happened that was gross to me, and I was like, maybe not. And
I don't know, like it's actually like I can't, I want to listen to it, I want to read it, I want to take the story in, but I also literally am so uncomfortable the entire time. And I think that is really like, that says something. That really says something, because like, I don't know, I don't know. I'm having a terrible time, but in a good way. I also wanted to mention that this book really speaks to what, like, I guess the best way that I can describe this is that, like, you get desensitized to the things that you see on the internet. So it's not uncommon for you to see somebody's worst fucking day scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through Twitter or X or Threads or whatever, and it's normalized because it's posted, and so many people have posted it, reposted it, shared it, etc., etc. So things like what's happening in there, it doesn't feel, and this is the most horrible part of this horror novel, is that the things that are posted in this don't feel like that much of a stretch. So when she's on this Mono Life social media app, it doesn't feel like a stretch to see somebody's dog bleeding out. You know, stuff that's on this app, it doesn't feel like a stretch. I feel like I personally have seen things that are as bad, if not just slightly less bad, than the things that are talked about. And that's what's really truly horrific, and that's why this book is really such a horror novel for me. Like, I am so uncomfy in, I mean, the best and worst ways. I am just under halfway through Feeders by Mads Serafini and Sir. What the fuck is this? It is so crazy to me that this book originally starts off as a girl trying to solve the murder of a classmate. And now, what? I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. This is a fantastic book. It is exploring social media horror in every way that I figured one of these books would. But what, and I cannot express this enough, the fuck. I definitely recommend it. Like, this is a brutal, horrific, disgusting look at exactly what social media is doing now. It's taking it to the highest extreme possible. But everything depicted in this book, aside from like the supernaturally things, of course, which I have to say that, like, I'm not sure if this is a spoiler alert, but I'm not pleased with the turn that it's taking supernaturally. I think I would have been significantly more compelled if we were just looking at terrible shit on the internet and watching our main character, Kylie, slowly devolve as a person because of what she's willing to do for cred on the internet, and what she's willing to do to gain fame and stardom, and what she's willing to do to make her social media reality her actual life reality. I think that that is so compelling and so evocative of the actual truth of some people on the internet, which I listen, this is so condescending coming from somebody who's posted on the internet in the past. I there was a channel that I had before this that amassed an amount of subscribers to become monetized on YouTube, and when it became too much for me, when I needed to stop, I stopped, because when it was slowly becoming my whole life, I had to stop. And now I'm at a place where I feel okay posting on the internet sometimes. I say that, but I'm posting 31 videos in 31 days, but I feel okay posting on the internet sometimes, and I don't need the validation of people anymore the way that I may have in the past, the way that I felt like I did when I got to the point where, like, I had been monetized for a while and I had to slowly step away because it was unhealthy for me. Like, I am saying this from the perspective of a person who is been significantly, I would say I was more of a micro influencer than what she is becoming, significantly smaller, very micro influencer. But my point is that I was getting free shit on the internet. I was getting paid by YouTube. I had, if I had continued going down that path, I don't know where I would have ended up. I don't know, but I'm happy where I am now, that I set aside that and I took a break, and the break took me. And now I'm sitting here talking about the dangers of social media. I think that that is crazy. Matt Serafini, what the fuck is this book? But also, like, this is so real to me. Like I was talking about earlier, like, I haven't seen anything in this that I'm like, that's not realistic, because the amount of terrible shit that's on the internet that you just scroll past, it's kind of sad. It's kind of disgusting. But Matt Serafini, I don't know. This is, I want to finish it, but I also kind of don't want to know. I will let you know what I think when I complete this book, because I'd say I have probably about one more day left to go. I kind of want to like tandem read tonight a little bit, but I also had a terrible dream last night. And if you saw in the very first clip that I opened this up with, the opening like sentence, the very beginning of Influencers, the other book that I'm reading for this, like it starts with a knock, and it scared the absolute shit out of me, to the point where I stepped away from both last night. And then I had terrible dreams all last night, and I slept like shit all last night. It was just terrible. Okay. So I say, hey, I want to tandem read. I want to listen to the audiobook because I'm feeling lazy. And I also want to read this book, and I want to like flip through the pages or whatever. And I'm saying that, knowing full well that I just said that I had a terrible night's sleep last night. Anyways, Feeders by Matt Serafini. I will say this is a super easy read. Like flipping through it, I can see like text messages and like posts and stuff, which always makes for an easier read. I love when you have like big, huge text messages that take up portions of the page. I don't know, I love it. And it feels more like realistic. Like look at the cover and look at the page. Like that is exactly what this book should look like. So anyways, I'll let you know when I progress a little bit more, but I think I do probably need to take a break, because I can't sleep like shit again last night. I can't do it tonight like I did last night. So I'm gonna take my face off. I'm gonna take a shower. And I think I'm gonna take my ass to bed.
Another spooky little ghost coffee. However, the lid is ill-fitting, and I believe that is why it spilled on me yesterday, because it already came off this morning. So pray for me. At what cost? That is what this book is at what cost? At what cost will you, what will you do to get what you want, and at what cost? Because this is like, this may be a standout horror novel for me this year, because the things that people are willing to do to become famous, to get what they think they deserve, is insane. Okay. And like, while I can't imagine that everyone who's on social media feels this way, and I don't think that that's even possible, I think that there are a small number of people that would do almost anything to get to where they want to be. And that is a scary thought. Four stars. Okay, first of all, here's the look for today. Now, I have started listening to Influencer again, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it because it is so well produced. The first time I was listening to it, I heard like a sound, and I was home, and it scared me. It sounded like somebody was knocking on my door, and I had to stop listening to it because it freaked me out. It was late at night. and now I'm driving into work and I hear a horn honking. It is so well produced. The sounds that they're describing are actually played into my ear or into the speaker of my car, and I am more of a visual person. Like, I get scared from visuals more, so usually reading horror doesn't do it for me, but listening to it has been another experience because I'm definitely more of a jump scare person. So I get got by jump scares, and it already got the jump on me twice, but Influencer, it won't happen again. You won't get me again. I am about, a little over halfway into Influencer. Now is about the time that I would start to compare these. And if I had to tell you which one I liked better, I would say that I enjoyed Feeders more than Influencer so far, but that could change with the last roughly around half. But while I was on my way home from work, rather than listening to Influencer, which is kind of a bad sign. So if I am enraptured by an audiobook, I don't want to stop listening to it. And I kind of was like, you know what? You know what I would like to do? I would like to hear more about Feeders because I had originally heard of both of these books from Books in the Freezer podcast, which has been a long time enjoyment of mine. I don't catch every single episode. Sometimes I cherry pick a little bit, and sometimes I'm in the mood to binge. But I had recalled a episode about social media horror where I was first introduced to both of these books, and I went back and realized that the author of Feeders is actually the guest of that specific episode. And I actually re-listened to the episode and it made me appreciate Feeders more. And also, Influencer was brought up on that podcast. So it's not like I was like really stepping away from Influencer, but I mean, I was. I wanted to hear what the author, Matt Serafini, had to say about his own works. And I have to say that, yeah, four stars stands. And he had some really interesting commentary about social media horror, which is essentially what I said, that, you get desensitized and the horrible things you can find on the internet without even trying. And it is really horrific. And like, how far will you go? And so I really enjoyed listening to how he felt about his own novel and how he feels about, social media in general and what led him to write this book and how he feels about other social media um, things in the horror space. And I guess he is kind of friends with this guy. And so when they were discussing like their upcoming projects, they both kind of, obviously, because they're not necessarily on the same path, but they're going the same general direction. It's social media horror, right? So they didn't talk about it, which is good because then they couldn't like riff off of each other. But anyways, the point that I'm making here, or the point that I'm attempting to make, is that I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed what Matt Serafini had to say about social media and social media horror and horror in general. So I think that Matt Serafini is somebody that I will look for when I go to the bookstore in the future. I will, do some research, see if any of his other book premises speak to me or interest me in any way. And in the meantime, I will complete Influencer by Adam Cesar. It is just starting to get good. But you know what I found really funny? So while we're comparing and contrasting, I do want to compare just a little bit more. So both of these characters actually have a individual named Aaron and an individual named Crystal. So Crystal is sort of Riley's alter ego in Feeders, and Crystal is the main female character in Influencer. And in both of them, we have a character named Aaron. Now, in this one, Aaron is a female, and in this one, Aaron is a male, and Aaron is the main male character of Influencer. I feel that it's not possible that I finish this tonight, which is going to end my streak, and I don't want to tell you what that streak was because it feels sad that I have to end it, but also I don't think that I was actually going to complete it. So
it's fine. I was really proud of myself because I had finished a book every single day for the last 7 days. And when I didn't finish Feeders in one day, but I finished it today and got halfway through Influencer, I was like, maybe it's possible that I can still have like 8 books in 8 days or 9 books in 9 days. You know what I mean? It feels sad to have to end the streak, but I knew that the streak was dying yesterday. So it's fine. It's all fine.
I won't lie to you, this one is one of the tougher ones to say goodbye to, but it has to be done. And just like that, I got nothing. I'm trying to, well, I mean, look, when I set out to do this video, I didn't mean to make these go kind of head to head, but it's a little bit harder when it's 2 books versus 3. Like, at least with the demon possession one, there were 3, and with this one there's just not 3, and it's harder to not make a direct comparison this way. And I feel bad because I feel like I should have read Influencer first, and I didn't. And I think the reason I think that I should have read Influencer first is because I had a feeling that I was going to like Feeders better. And I read Feeders first anyway. It is a problem of my own creation. I really had a lot of black on this side. Wow. But I'm gonna finish up. If I do audio, I've got a little over an hour left. It's not getting any better. So I might try and do that while I'm in the shower. It's getting worse. Washing this off. You know what? I'm just gonna take a shower. So I have right around 40 minutes of the audiobook left. And and I think like it's getting better, but like I need to know where it's going. And right now there's no direction. So I'm just confused. We know the guy's a bad guy. Sorry, I did my eyeballs at my coworker's request, like eyeballs. And they're kind of a little cross-eyed, but it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Everything's fine. Anyways, I'm going to go into work right now, but yeah, I got like I'd say I'm almost done. I would have been done earlier, but I was talking to my sister. So obviously I did not listen to the audiobook, and I damn sure didn't read. I was too busy doing my eyeballs.
Well, 2.5 star, 3 star maybe. It just, when you compare it to Feeders, it just didn't do it for me. And like, it's not this book's fault. It's not this book's fault that I enjoyed another book in the same genre more. It is not this book's fault that I read the other one first. I did attempt to read this one first, but we saw how that went. But nevertheless, this is not really, I mean, I get it. It's like he's on social media, but this was mentioned as a social media horror. It's literally called Influencer. And just like I said in the beginning, it's like, yes, he's an influencer, but he's an influencer who has social media. He's not necessarily a social media influencer. Like, he is more like influential, not social media influential. Like, just like in person has the ability to change how people act and think and behave. It's culty, not influencer. I mean, whatever. I digress. So, like I mentioned in Feeders, the social media app Monolife, while it doesn't exist in real life, I think that it's not far-fetched, because I have personally scrolled on Instagram, X, Threads, whatever, and seen some truly horrific things, especially lately. And while like Monolife doesn't exist in real life, all of the aspects of this sort of do, except for the end. But we're not going to spoil the end. But most of the aspects, if not all of the aspects of this novel, exist in real life. People willing to do anything for fame, people willing to do anything for notoriety. How far will you go? How far will you go to gain notoriety? And then on the other side, how desensitized are you? I feel that I myself have been completely desensitized to things that shouldn't be normalized. Like, we're desensitized to the point of terrible things being normal. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility to log onto Instagram and see somebody's worst day on the internet. And it's not completely like, I mean, I have seen things I should not see. And granted, it's not like I'm not a child. I'm not like, it's not like, oh, protect my virgin eyes. It's not like that at all. It's like, how are we in reality so completely desensitized to the point where seeing someone like on the internet is normalized? I've seen it. And unfortunately, I'm sure many of you have as well. And that's what's truly horrific about this book, is that it's not impossible. The things that are happening in this book are not too, like, obviously it's an extreme version of it and it's a little dramatized for sure. And like, you have like this sort of like paranormal aspect towards the end, but like, this is not this is not crazy to me. Like, the concept of this book is not so far-fetched that I don't believe it's possible. This is entirely possible without the paranormal aspect and the fact that monolife doesn't exist. So it's like, this is like a true disgusting societal book that it's very real, it's very visceral, and it's very disgusting, and it's very scary, and it's a 4 star. Moving into influencer, this one I did not like as much. This one was, now don't get me wrong, it's also truly scary, just like this one, because this one has culty aspects. Like, he is so influential. And this is what I mean in the beginning when I said that he is less of a social media influencer, more of an influencer who uses social media. I would say he's more of a, like, it's giving culty vibes. Culty in the sense that like he's a cult leader, and culty in the sense that like he's changing the way people behave around him. And it's truly like, it's disturbing. Like, it really is disturbing. And it's a slow start. I don't think we actually get to the part where it's like actually messed up until like halfway through. At first, it's like, okay, Crystal doesn't like this guy, but why? And obviously, because it's a horror, is it really horror? I would almost peg this as like a thriller, but I'd say that thriller and horror are more closely related than thriller and mystery. Even though I'd peg this more as a thriller than a horror, there were still elements of this that were really horrific, especially when, like, the very first page, you are seeing the decimation of an entire family. Like, and it's not a spoiler. That's literally chapter 1. It tells you the demise of an entire family. Larissa is the character's name. Her entire family is gone in an instant. And you know exactly who it is from the start. So it's not a spoiler to say that our main character, the speaker, or Aaron, is a terrible person. This is more what I was looking for when I was looking to pick up a social media horror. I wanted social media used in a bad way. And granted, they both kind of were, but the true influencing he does is more in person, if that makes sense. Like, he has a social media following, but it's not for horrible things in the way that this one is. Am I explaining myself really well? Probably not. That is going to be it for today's video. If you yourself have read any social media horror that you think that I would enjoy, or anything aside from these two, let me know in the comments down below. I think that I opened myself up to a subgenre that I didn't know if I would enjoy, and I actually find that I enjoyed it, because social media is a newer thing. It's not something that was around 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. This is a newer to just in my lifetime thing. And it's like, you've always had serial killers. You've always had like horrific things like death and sickness and plague and you know, as long as people have been telling stories, there's always been some kind of creature that goes bump in the night. But social media horror is very new, and it's very, very timely for me personally as a millennial. I grew up in the time when social media was coming. Like, I remember MySpace. Like, you could not tell me shit. My MySpace was on point all the time before on point was a thing. I coded my MySpace so that I didn't have a top 8. I didn't have a song that you could pause. Like, you were forced to listen to it because I removed that option from it. I removed the comments. I removed everything. Like, I, MySpace was a time, and if you were on MySpace, you know. And then we had Facebook, and even before that, we had like the AOL instant messaging, like the RAR LOL stuff, and so social media to be used as a horror trope or horror genre was really interesting to me. So if you have any that you think that I might enjoy, please leave them in the comments down below. And with that, I will see you in tomorrow's video.